Okay, hello friends, and welcome in one more session. Today our guest is Aman, and he is joining us from Germany. And from last 1 year, he was in Germany, and he's having around 11 to 12 years of total IT experience. And recently, he has given a couple of interviews in Germany for different IT companies. So here we are with this session. A couple of common interview questions which were asked in those interviews we have gathered, and today Aman is going to help us. So thanks, Aman, for giving your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sunand. Thanks
Yeah,
for you as
thanks.
well. Yeah.
Okay, Aman. So if you allow, shall we start?
Yes, Sunand, we can start.
Okay, thanks, Aman. Okay, so let's start with your responsibility as a Scrum Master. What you do as a Scrum Master whole day?
Yes, Sunand. So as a Scrum Master, my like every day, we will have a daily Scrum meeting. I will be part of that Scrum daily Scrum meeting, and after that, I will look into how the team is progressing, and I will also look into the burn down chart, and if there are any impediments in my name, so I will look into those impediments and try to resolve those blockages. And also I will look into many of the metrics like how the team is performing, and even the organization needs few metrics, and I share with them. And also I try to interact with the people and also the product owners. I try to have a cup of coffee with the product owner to understand like his feeling about the uh, product deliveries. Is it creating values, or is he expecting anything out of it? And I try to facilitate if he's deviating from if he wants any help in refinement or something, I help him in that. That is how my usual day goes on, Sunant. Yeah.
Thanks, Aman. Okay. So could you also tell us a few of the challenges which you faced with your team in the past?
Yes, Sunand. So initially when I started my journey as a Scrum Master, so there also I faced many challenges because the team they were working in an like waterfall or the traditional way of working. So initially it was quite tough to bring them into the agile mindset. And they like we had different development team there, we had seniors and all. They always wanted like the senior used to like whatever they're telling, we need to listen, all the developers need to listen to them. So it was quite challenging at that time. I need to make him understand this is not how the Scrum framework works. So that was quite challenging for me. So I had a lot of interaction with him. It took almost a month or two for me to convince him like this is how the Scrum framework works. So here it's not like we are senior, they are juniors and they don't know how to do. It's all like everyone has to do collaboratively. So that is one of the challenge I faced. And also one more thing, so once we started working in the COVID situation, we started working from home. At that time also the few people mindset was different, like they used to switch off their cameras during the meetings, and we are not sure whether they are attentive or not during the Scrum ceremony events and all. So I used to bring them like I used to talk to them like please switch on the cameras, like please turn on your cameras because we are not meeting every day. So at least during the meeting let us see like your face and let us have an healthy interaction. And that is how I made the team to get involved in all the meetings and all the activities whatever we do. So these are quite challenges that I have faced in my career, Sanand.
Okay, thanks, Aman. Okay, now this is the kind of scenario. So, for example, your team is not able to perform up to the mark. The deliveries are impacting. They are not able to create any valuable item to the product owner, to the client, to the stakeholders, and these people are not happy. And they want to change majority of your developers, right? They want to change your existing team. So what do you do in that kind of scenario as a Scrum Master?
Yes, Sunand. I feel so. It is not acceptable to uh, do a blame on any one of the Scrum team. So first, we need to understand why the product owner is coming up with such a comment. So what is impacting him to come up with this comment? Is he really facing any challenges with the development team? Or the development team is not capable of understanding the requirement, or is having an opinion that the development team, their approach is not appropriate? So we need to understand exactly what is happening with PO for his like why he's not happy. So we need to understand that. And we need to have, like, in the Scrum, we need to maintain the transparency. So when the product owner is complaining about the developer or something, we need to understand, is it specific to a particular developer or the entire team? As you mentioned, I understand that in the entire team. So he's telling that the entire team is not performing well. Then we need to bring them together, and we need to make them understand so why the PO is thinking like that. If the development team has an answer for that, so let them justify themselves, like why it is happening and all. And that is how we need to do. And also, if there is a really problem persisting with the development team, so we need to bring in some subject matter expert on that, and we need to train the development team. That is what I feel, Sunand.
Okay, thanks, Aman. Okay, and what is a cross-functional team for you?
Yeah, cross-functional team. I have worked with the teams, like there we had a UI team and the development team, the testing team, and the database team. These are the different teams. So whenever we are working on some development activity, at times we need database engineers to perform some database activity which need to be implemented in whatever the application they are developing. So when we have these different kind of uh, different domain experience team, I feel this is as an cross-functional team. Yes, Anand.
Okay, okay, thanks, Aman. Okay, so tell us a scenario when you deviate from Scrum framework or guideline and what you have done.
Okay, the scenarios in the sense, so the Scrum guide, I feel it never says you have to do in this way only or that way only. I feel we have few for the in the Scrum framework, we have experiment, inspect, and adopt, and we have a set of rules, and we should not go beyond that boundaries, like what the Scrum is all about. So we don't have a set of rules, it has to be followed in the same way. So for example, if I have to say, uh, I have interacted with the stakeholders as well. So because like at times I have made the stakeholders to interact with the developers as well. Uh, because at times PO failed to answer the development teams, like development team had some questions, and the PO was unable to justify or clarify their clarification. At that time, I requested the PO, if you are unable to clarify their questions, so why can't we bring in the stakeholders into that? Then I interacted even with the stakeholders. I asked it for their time, and then I made the PO and also the development team with the stakeholder in a meeting, and to clarify those things, because it was a backlog, and like because of that impediment, the delivery was, it was not happening for more than a week, and the team was always like frequently they're asking the PO, we need some clarification on this. So I feel these are the things, so we can deviate, because when we want to create value to the product, it is okay even so, because Scrum guide says that no other team member, no, apart from the Scrum team, nobody should get involved without prior notice or anything. But at times we need to involve even them to deliver values to the customer, is what I feel. Yes, Sunand.
Okay, thanks, Aman. And what is DOR and DOD? Can you give some example?
Yeah, DOR is definition of ready, and DOD is the definition of done. So both the things, we like, it starts with a user stories. Usually definition of ready, I always talk to POs and I ask them to refine before coming for a sprint planning. so to refine their user stories, and I always insist them. So all the user stories should fulfill the invest criteria, in the sense like invest in sense like it should be independent, it should be negotiable, it should be valuable, it should be estimable and small, as well as testable. So this is how an user story should be. So when the user story is refined to understand like what exactly the requirement is, so I feel that is the definition of ready on any user stories. And definition of done in the sense like once we perform the task based on the one, once the user stories are ready, so once we start performing the task, it should meet some criteria for us to accept it as it is done. So maybe the user stories will have acceptance criteria, it should meet those acceptance criteria, and after that it has to be tested, and it should be performing, and all the test cases it has to overcome. So once all these things are done, and it creates a values and everything is accepted, then only we can consider it as done. And that is called that is what we call it as definition of done, Sunand.
Okay. And what kind of matrices you have used so far, Aman?
Yeah, yeah, Sunand. Every day I look into the velocity of the team, like how are we performing sprint on sprints, and also the burn down charts. So are we on track in delivering values on each sprint? And also I will look into the burn up chart and I give it to the organization as well. Like this is how we are performing sprint on sprints, and which gives the organization to make predictability on when can we deliver the product. And also like defect size, so how many defects we are getting, so are the defects, are we getting defects regularly, why it is coming, those kind of metrics also I used to like grab all those things. And I create my own dashboards, so which should be visible to all the team members as well. So anytime the team member wants to look into these things, it should be visible even for the team. These are the metrics I do, Sunand.
Okay, this one is interesting. So you might have worked with co-located team, and now everyone is working at their home, right? So which mode you prefer, working in an office or remote working?
uh, yes, Sunand, it's a tricky question, but I feel for a scrum master, the mode of working should not matter, because I have worked in both the scenarios. Like I have worked with a team in office as well as remotely, and both will have the challenges and everything. So being a scrum master, I feel so everything is challenging, and we have to accept whatever the scenario is, and we have to keep delivering value to the customer is what our main motto. And yes, definitely the challenges will be there even when we are working from home, or even when we are working from office. So those challenges we need to understand and we have to overcome, and we should keep delivering values to the customer is what I feel, Sunand. I don't have any particular preference as such, so I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thanks. Okay, and what's the difference between a Scrum Master and an Agile coach?
I don't see much difference between a Scrum Master and Agile coach. So probably, so few organization will have Agile coach as a separate this thing. So Scrum Master also do mentoring to the team, facilitating the team, and coaching the team on Agile methodologies. And probably the difference might be the Agile coach do the same. So so he will try to implement in the organization, and also he will interact with the customers or the POs, like the different organization, to make them understand the agile methodologies. And also if like whenever the scrum master are facing any difficulties or any challenges, agile coaches will be there to guide them as well. So if they are not understanding some part of like if they're facing some challenges and they are unable to overcome it, agile coaches will be there to help scrum master is what I feel, Sunand.
Okay. And have you ever missed any project deadlines how you overcome those kind of scenarios.
Uh, Sunand, in Scrum framework, we always look into inspect and adopt, and sprint on sprint, we keep on delivering values to the customer, and we give them a predictability. So probably I feel missing a delivery, it will not come like spontaneously. So if they have and if they're expecting something to be delivered by the end of this year, and when we are performing, so within the 6th month or with the 70% of our execution only, they will come to know whether the deadline can be achievable or not. Based on that, the PO and the customer has to make a decision. So whatever the pace we are going and whatever the story points they're giving, is it okay to meet the deadline? There they have to refine their requirements. So what has to be met by the end of this deadline, and what can be performed even after the deadline has crossed. So it's and all predictable in Scrum is what I feel, Sunand.
Okay. And Aman, how you measure the maturity of your team?
Yeah, maturity of the team. It's all like in the Scrum, it all, as I mentioned, agile mindset. It's all about the mindset. So we need to look into the behavior of the team. So are they performing? How their mindset? It should be a collaborative work. If the team is matured, means their behavior should be good. They are not like there are no conflicts between the team members. So it should not be there. And also how the outcomes are generated. So sprint on sprint, are they delivering values? So we need to look into those things. And also the velocities. So sprint on sprint, how it is performing. Because if you see that in the first sprint, their velocity was around some 25 points. In the next sprint, they delivered only some 10 story points. And in the next sprint, they delivered 50. We can't say the team is stable. And also in the sense, so we need, it should be predictable. So whatever, so we need to perform, so 20, 25 or something, it should be sustainable, the velocity and all. If all these things are met, I think the team is mature. And also I can say as a Scrum Master, even I'm successful in, or I'm progressing as a Scrum Master with the team.
Okay. Okay, I think we are good for today, Aman. So yeah, thanks again for your time, Aman, today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sunand, for this opportunity as well. It's a very like fruitful page what you have in the YouTube, and it is giving chance for everyone to know many things. Thank you so much for that, Sunand.
Thanks, Aman. Thank you. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you will like this session, friends. So just give a thumbs up and see you in the next session. Bye for today.